Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. JOTA, and today I have four different stories regarding to Real Madrid in different ways, right? We will be talking about Endrick, the first thing, and how tight it's becoming the fight for the Brazilian player. The second one, it's going to be about, of course, Haaland. The third one is going to be about Mourinho, okay? And the fourth one, I'm going to unveil the player from Chelsea who is pushing hard to sign or helping Chelsea to sign up to Endrick. Because as you know, it is very important in these stages for when a team really wants to sign a player, say for example from Brazil, they really need help from other Brazilian players to convince the players. So they tell him how good they are being treated in that team, in the city, and all the good things that can happen if he signs up, right, for that team. So that is pretty much what is happening right now with Endrick and a bunch of other players in the transfer market. I mean, of course, in a couple months, we will hear a lot about different players signing up for other teams because, as you know, the winter transfer market will be wide open, okay? So let's get started with the offer that apparently PSG has laid on the table for Endrick. And you're probably wondering, okay, why am I talking about Chelsea and Endrick when it's PSG, the one who has already laid an offer on the table for the Brazilian player? Well, let me tell you something. Chelsea is as well in the race for signing the Endrick, right? Well, let me tell you, ESPN Brazil this morning unveiled the player just in case he has a couple offers, very good offers, and Palmeiras it's okay with one of them from PSG or Chelsea, then the player prefers to play in Chelsea. You are probably also asking yourselves, okay, why is Dr. JOTA not talking about Real Madrid or is not including Real Madrid in this fight, in this race? Let me tell you something. Real Madrid will not do any crazy stuff, will not splash all the cash out of the window, considering we are not in a super emergency need of the player, even Endrick, okay? Real Madrid is not going to do any crazy stuff for signing the player, right? So that means we are not going to put on the table about 60 million or even 50 million. It's gotta be probably in the neighborhood of 40 to 45 million. That's it, okay? Bonuses not included, but 40 to 40 million, and that's 40 to 45 million. That's it, okay? So that is the flat rate, I would say. No, that is the flat offer Real Madrid will put on the table for Endrick. Every single thing beyond that price, we are not going to get into it, man, because we are not in need that. And of course, the way Florentino Perez manages the club is not like any other club, right? Like Chelsea, for example, or PSG. Both clubs, as you know, have a lot of money, right? And they don't even have to worry about the money they are going to spend in a player. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Real Madrid is not in the fight, is not in the race for the player, unless he really picks up Real Madrid and say to Palmeiras, hey, I just want to go and play for Real Madrid, so try to make an arrangement for me to go there and play, because it is just what I want to do, right? And if Palmeiras is okay with 40 to 45 million, everything will be okay and everything will be fine, and Endrick will play for Real Madrid, okay? But as long as we have Chelsea throwing 60 to 70 million or something like that, Real Madrid will not be there. So just for you to know, just for your information, okay? So the second story I have for you guys is about Mourinho. The reason for his name related or attached to Real Madrid in the day of today, it is because La Repubblica is a newspaper in Italy, unveiled Mourinho was the next one in the list of Real Madrid for coaching the players when Zidane split out, okay? When he decided to go out, when he decided to quit, there were a bunch of coaches, right, in the list of Florentino Perez, and one of them, apparently the first one was Mourinho, but when the name of Carlo Ancelotti popped up, then they decided to go ahead and try to sign Carlo Ancelotti because they were looking for a character, a coach, very attached, very stuck to the guidelines of Real Madrid. I mean, the way Real Madrid behaves, all the things Real Madrid really represents in front of the world. We need a coach in the same, in the same line, right? In the same page. We cannot afford a coach who is very explosive, aggressive every time he goes out in public, in a press conference and things like that. Other people are saying it was Mourinho the one who rejected the offer from Real Madrid, but honestly, I don't think we will know the truth, right? Ever, right? So to me, it is true Mourinho might have been attached to Real Madrid, and of course, to me, he will always be attached to Real Madrid in somehow, right? Because a lot of people still love Mourinho, and maybe if Carlo Ancelotti decides to quit by the end of the season, I'm not going to rule out the possibility for Mourinho to come back. So it's something that you never know, right? So let's see, man. According to La Repubblica, this is what's going on. And let me jump on to the next story. It's about Erling Haaland and all the price Manchester City had to pay for joining the Norwegian player to the club. And let me tell you something, that might be exactly the same amount of money or even a little bit less Real Madrid will have to pay if we really want to Haaland, if we really want the Erling Haaland coming and play for Madrid. Let me unveil and break it down, because Manchester City, according to reports, according to Football Insider, they had to pay 70 million euros for the player plus 30 million in commissions to the father and of course to Mino Raiola and his agency, right, for representing the player. The other thing is the salary of the player. In a contract of 5 years, and considering he's making about 1.6 million a month, he might be making something in the neighbor of approximately 30 million a year, 30 million before taxes, right? Before taxes, so that'd be like 18 million a year after taxes. So it's a lot of money, it's crazy money. But let me tell you something, if you really want to bring over a player, a top-notch striker to Real Madrid, it is of course something you have to assume. You have to pay a lot of money, right? And I don't think it's going to be a problem for Real Madrid. It's not going to be any concern for Real Madrid because we really have that money and we are willing to pay such a crazy money for a player like Erling Haaland. So that is the thing. And then let me go ahead and unveil the second and last story I have for you all, guys, because coming back on my feet about Endrick, Thiago Silva is the player from Chelsea who is really pushing hard to sign Endrick for Chelsea. And the reason for that is because Thiago Silva, one day Chelsea decided to bring over the Endrick and his family to practice, right? To have a practice with Chelsea players and all that stuff, right? Well, the person who really hosted the family and Endrick himself, it was Thiago Silva. And the person responsible to take care of him, the person responsible to walk him through the facilities and the practices and the training grounds and all the stuff, it was Thiago Silva. And they're responsible to tell him and his family, hey, we're here to help. I mean, this is a great club. We have amazing plans for the future. We have an amazing project and all the stuff. It was Thiago Silva, right? So if he really wants to push hard, I think that he has a lot of chances to get him because he's mature enough. I mean, Thiago Silva is old enough to convince the player to come and play. Let me tell you, on the other hand, Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo Goes are very close to Endrick as well. And as you know, Endrick has said multiple times he really admired to Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo Goes, and actually they are, I'm not going to say friends, but all these Brazilian players, they know each other, they get along super easily, they try to be close to each other, right? So, but the problem is, I think that Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo Goes are not that experienced to convince the player to come and play for Real Madrid. I mean, as much as Thiago Silva is, right? Thiago Silva is a very old veteran player, and to me, he is really prepared and he really knows how to do that. He really knows how to convince Endrick to come and play for Chelsea. And I think that Chelsea, if they are able to put a lot of money for Endrick, right? I mean, they have a lot of chances to play the Brazilian player ahead of Real Madrid, but we will have to wait because, as you know, over the last weeks, we've been heard Endrick really wants to play for Real Madrid, so we will have to wait a little bit more and see what happens. I still don't know what is going to happen, but it might occur that the player might end in playing for Real Madrid. I don't know. So that is what I had for you all, guys. Now enjoy all the videos and all the material I've just dropped in my channel, and that's it. Have fun.